Hi there, I'm Adrienne Donkers, and I love working with students who choose to begin their post high school education at a community college. In fact, this is how my two children began their college journey prior to transferring to a 4 year school. So let's talk about the pros and cons of starting your education at a community college. Starting with the benefits, the cost per credit is much lower at a community college, and if you're living at home, it can be a real savings, so that's great. Second, if you're unsure exactly what you want to major in, community college is a great place to explore your areas of interest while potentially completing some gen ed courses that may transfer to a 4 year school. College may also allow students time to increase their grades or GPA if they were not as successful in high school, and this can increase their chances of continuing at a 4 year school. And finally, some students just are not ready to leave home and attend a 4 year college for a variety of reasons, and that is totally fine. So, community college will allow students to take college level courses while having their support system at home. It's good to note that there are also some cons of starting at a community college. First, all courses may not transfer because the 4 year school doesn't recognize the content of the course as transferable for credit. You could also be in the position of courses transferring for credit and being added to your total credit count at the 4 year school, but not meeting one of the gen ed requirements or a major requirement. So, this is where planning is really important in your course selection at the community college. A second con is that prerequisite classes may be required to transfer to your program of interest that you may not have picked up at the community college. For example, if you want to finish your 4 year degree in computer science, you may not have completed everything at the community college in order to transfer in as a junior. So there's no guarantee that you'll be out of college in 4 years if you're planning on a BS or BA. Again, having a good plan is important when you go the route of starting at community college. Third, you may be interested in a program that you cannot transfer into because there may not be spots available at the 4 year school or your performance in your classes may not have met the requirements. Also, the college may just not allow transfer into certain majors. Transferring in as a junior may feel uncomfortable, as many of the students at the 4 year college have created strong bonds in the first 2 years. So, developing those relationships as a second or third year student may be a bit more challenging. You may not be eligible for scholarships as a transfer student. So, in the end, you may not actually save a lot of money by starting at the community college. So, you'll need to assess this early on. Finally, you may be ineligible for on campus housing if that is what you were hoping for. This is especially true for large public colleges. So, the choice to start at community college needs to be thought out in advance. It's right for some students and not others. You want to understand the whole journey before taking the first step of starting at community college. When you start at a community college, you can earn credit for courses taken over a semester or year prior to attending a 4 year school. Or you can complete an associate's degree, which is typically about 60 completed credits, and it usually takes 2 years as a full time student. The two most common types of associate degrees are the Associate of Arts and the Associate of Science, typically known as the AA or the AS, with the goal of ending up with a BA or BS. It is super important that you design your coursework so that it will transfer to a 4 year school. The best way to ensure transfer is to work with an advisor at the community college who can help you plan your courses. And we urge you to reach out to them. If you have a specific 4 year college you plan to transfer to, you can also reach out to their transfer office for guidance. In addition to working with an advisor, you can look for articulation agreements, which is an agreement about the course plan for a specific major between a community college and a single 4 year college. However, just note there are articulation agreements for only a few majors. And always remember grades will matter. For example, a D or C in a course may not be accepted by the receiving institution. You can transfer anywhere you want to within the United States. You can transfer to in state or out of state public institutions and private institutions. When students start at community college, transfer advisors often think about the student as transferring within state. So they may advise with that context in mind. But if you decide to transfer out of state or to a private school, then there usually aren't any agreements on which courses will transfer. Now, many courses will still often transfer for credit, so that's the good news. but it will be important to keep information to back up the content of the course. And this is done by keeping a copy of each course syllabus that you take at the community college, as well as class notes. Eventually, you will likely need to supply a syllabus to the four-year institution or complete a form about the course, particularly if it is an out-of-state public or private institution. You can also find transfer guidelines online, but these are usually designed for an in-state transfer, and I've listed some here. You can check out your own state's transfer guides. If you're applying out of state or to a private college, contact the admissions office at the college of choice to understand the type of credits that will be accepted from your community college. Now, there are different transfer rules for different colleges, and here are some of the things you need to know. You may not need to complete your associates prior to transfer to some four-year schools, and most four-year colleges require a minimum number of credits to be taken at their institution in order to graduate from that college. For example, they may require a minimum of 30 credits be taken at the four-year college. Also, there may be a limit on the number of credits that can be transferred from a community college to the four-year school. For example, only 60 or 70 credits can be transferred. Also, different schools have different requirements for when you would apply as a transfer student as opposed to a first-year student, and the courses that must be completed at the community college. Here's a few requirements for different schools. For example, at University of Maryland, a student applies as a transfer student if they attempted or completed 12 college credits post-high school. If you have less than 12, you would apply as a first-year student. And they expect the student to have completed a required English and math course because they want to see those grades. At UNC Chapel Hill, on the other hand, if you've taken any college coursework, so even one course after high school, you'll apply as a transfer student. A minimum of 45 credits must be earned at Chapel Hill. I have a few other examples here for UCLA, Yale, and Colorado College. You can scan the requirements for these colleges, but it's really important to check the college website to understand their transfer requirements because each college has its own rules about transferring from community college. This wraps up this presentation on transferring from community college, and here's a summary of what we covered. But I want to help you understand that community college is the right place for some students to start on their journey to a bachelor's degree. But planning early is important for success in this journey.